So there's basically two methods that we're going to talk about in this section. One's called the substitution method. So what we do for the substitution method is we want to get one equation to have one variable by itself. So we want either x equals blah, 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 or y equals blah, blah, blah. Okay? And then you're going to take that, whatever this is, and substitute it into the other equation. Then you're going to have a new equation in one variable. And then that you can solve. So you're going to solve it and you'll find the answer for either x or y. It depends on what you're substituting. Then you use your answer to back substitute to find the other variable. And then finally you can check it. Now I'm not going to check all of them, but I will this one. Okay, so here's our system. And it's in the equations are in that form ax plus by equals c. Both of them are in that form. So I'm looking for a letter, either x or y, that I could get by itself easily. Now I could get any of them by themselves because we've done that before. We've solved an equation for either x or y or some other variable. But I want to do the easiest one. I don't want a bunch of fractions running around if I can avoid it. We'll see this x right here. That would be the one because it has a coefficient of 1. So you can want to look and see if you can find an equation that would be helpful. Okay, so to get that by itself, I'm going to add 2y to both sides. So I get x equals 2y minus 3. I'm taking that negative 2y and putting it on the other side, making it positive. Okay? Now that's the first part. Get one variable by itself. And I did it. I've got x equals blah, blah, blah. This is what x equals, 2y minus 3. So I'm going to take that and I have to substitute it into the other equation. Don't use the same equation because then you're going to get a mess. But I can substitute it into the other equation. So I'm going to write 5, but then I'm not going to write x. I'm going to write 2y minus 3 because that's what x equals. And then I finish writing the equation minus 4y equals 9. So I'm using this equation. Maybe I'm wondering if this is making sense to you. And I'm replacing the x with what x equals. It equals 2y minus 3. It's kind of visual. Okay. So I took out the x and put in 2y minus 3. Okay, now this equation I know how to solve. It's linear and it's great. I'm going to distribute. So that's the distributing. I'm going to simplify. So 10y minus 4y, that's 6y. I'm going to add the 15 to both sides. So I have 6y equals 24. And then I'm going to divide by 6. Now it doesn't have to come out to be an integer, but we kind of like it when it does. And so what do we know? We know y equals 4. But you're not done. A lot of times students forget that. And they're like, oh, good, I'm all done. No, you only have y. You got to find x. So here comes what we call back substituting. Back substituting. We're going to go back to the equation that we substituted. So I'm going to go back and resubstitute for y now. So I can say, well, my line's in the way, but I can say x equals 2 times, but now I know y. Y is 4, right? Okay, so put in the 4 minus 3. So I get x equals 8 minus 3, or x equals 5. Okay, so I believe I have an answer. My answer is the ordered pair, and they're going to write these as ordered pairs, 5, comma, 4. That is what I believe to be the answer, and I feel pretty confident. But I told you I would check it, so I need my system. 5x minus 4y equals 9. I'll just write it down here. 5x minus 4y equals 9. And the other equation said x minus 2y equals negative 3? Yeah, okay. Sorry, equals negative 3. All right, so I'm just checking now. This is the check. I'm plugging in and seeing if it really works. X is 5 and y is 4. So for this equation, I get 25 minus 16. Does that equal 9? I'll say yes. And then the other equation is going to look like 5 minus 2 times 4. And does that equal negative 3? 5 minus 8, does that equal negative 3? Yes, Yes, it does. Okay, so it all checks out. And there's my answer right there. It's an ordered pair, so make sure you put X, comma, Y. Don't get them backwards because then I'll just mess everything up. So our X was 5 and our Y was 4. So we write the ordered pair, 5, comma, 4.